Hey guys, it's your boy Sinister back with another build for you guys. Before we get started, I would say happy holidays. Hope everybody enjoyed their holiday weekend. Everybody was safe, and happy, and healthy. I also want to say like, subscribe, and hit that bell so you can get notifications when I upload new builds. Without further ado, let's get into it. Today's build, I call it the Vampyre build. In Division 1, that was like one of my favorite builds. But that was based off of getting armor and health on kill. So you wanted to raise your weapon damage up as high as possible so that you could be as effective at killing enemies, NPCs. It was a PvE build. But with this build, we're not going to do that. So I'll show you in a minute. There's no like armor on kill whatsoever on this build. No armor on kill, no armor regeneration, no health on kill, none of that. What we're doing is we're taking the Backfire, which this build is built around. Alright. And we're mitigating, or we're going to try to mitigate. I did do a test run, a field test of this in my last video I posted. You can check that out. And it worked perfectly great. This isn't a build obviously you want to take to the dark zone or places where you have to, fight other players. It's not a good idea. But it's awesome if you're looking for like a offensive medic type build. And I'll show you what I mean. So first piece you're going to want weapon wise is going to be Backfire. And then anything, I always use the Quiet Roar with this agent just because LMGs in my opinion work best with skill builds. You're going to be in cover a lot with this build because you want to try not to take any more damage than you're already going to take using Backfire. If you don't know, Backfire's talent is payment in kind, and what it does is it boosts your critical hit damage, which is awesome because this thing has 20%, yeah, 20.5% critical hit chance, which is great. By 1% up to 200 stacks, lasting for 10 seconds. Now the trade-off is on reload. It applies a 10-second bleed to yourself, which deals 0.5% armor damage. This is not to your health, this is just to your armor. Alright. So this is the main weapon. You could use whatever else you want. I like Quiet Roar because of the damage out of covered targets. Which I re-rolled and got 12%. Awesome. And then it has perfect overrun. Suppressing the enemy grants 12% weapon damage for 12 seconds. Stacks up to 4 times. So this is, I just like overrun for my SMGs. I think it's dope. And then I'm looking for a better pistol, but this is like, it's not a bad pistol. And I use this. But you can use whatever you like. These two, your secondary weapon and your pistol or your sidearm, aren't super important. You can use whatever you want. But this right here, Backfire, if you don't have it, you want to get this. This is what you're going to use. I know that the whole apply bleed thing is very unattractive, but this is why we did this build. So your first one will get 4 pieces of Fog of War. Mainly because obviously repair skills are going to be using that skill, haste, skill, duration, and then it gives you in 4 pieces the ground control, which increases you and your allies' total weapon and skill damage by 15% when at full armor. Believe it or not, when you're not using Backfire, if you're on Summit, I took this to Summit, and there were times where our equipment was down due to jammers. So I wasn't able to use my fixer drone or the booster hive, and I'll explain why I'm using the booster hive in a minute. So I had to switch to Quiet Roar, and fight from cover. But you can get, when you're at full armor, it's gonna boost everybody's weapon and skill damage by 15%. Also, when you repair an ally, you and all allies within 5 meters of you are also repaired by 60% of that amount. So even though you're not necessarily looking to heal your teammate, you can switch out the booster for the and I believe I did that in the video. You can switch it out for the restorer, or if you're fancy like that, you can switch it out for the reviver. I didn't, only because 5 charges isn't a lot in my opinion, or enough to make me feel comfortable with being like, oh yeah, I'll definitely drop this bad boy. I'd rather have 6. And it also isn't really going to serve your purpose, mainly because you want your armor restored instantly as you're taking that 10-second of the bleed damage, the armor bleed. So the fixer, and the reason why I use booster is because if you look at the description, it says increases weapon handling, hazard protection, and melee damage. You mainly want hazard protection. All right. I'll show you the hazard protection I'm working with right now. Yeah, here we go. So my armor isn't that great, which is fine. We have, from what I have on it now, we have 31.7% hazard protection, and that combined with the other the gear mods that I have on here, with the bleed resistance, we're going to do like 45.8%. So I'll roughly say like 46% bleed resistance, right, on our best day. So we're really looking to rely on our fixer and the booster, which do like great jobs. I did the numbers for healing, and it's somewhere around, I believe, for the fixer drone with tier 4, it's somewhere around like 3 million over the 250 seconds duration, which is nice because we don't have anywhere near 1 million armor, so that's going to be great for us. And then the booster drone really is just for the buff, and to help with that hazard protection, so it does the job. Again, you can go to the restorer if you feel better doing that. That's going to do a lot more healing than your fixer, and then you just throw the fixer onto one of your teammates and let that heal them, and you'll get that 60% of however much you heal your ally for. That's great. Then once you get those 4 pieces, you're going to want Devil's Due for your backpack. It's not like the best backpack you can get, but for this purpose it's going to do great because it's going to give us 10% critical hit chance and 10% hazard protection with that second piece, and I'll show you the second piece next. Again, I re-rolled some of this. I got status effects on there, which I have to change. So the next time you see me play with this build, it'll, I'll just re-roll it. But this is like the base pieces that you want. You have to roll things yourself. I put repair skills on it. This is going to give us perfect clutch, and under normal circumstances with what I have now, I would never use this backpack just because I'm not a huge fan of clutch. But this is one of those rare opportunities where we can use something like this, right? So if you are below 20% armor, which, believe it or not, is definitely going to happen to you, critical hits repair 2.5% missing armor. Alright, and kills allow you to repair up to 100% armor for a 4 to 10 second duration, based on a number of I guess it'll be like weapon damage cores. I'm not really sure what those cores are called. Yeah, weapon damage core. Attributes that you have. I have 2. So, what I mean? I think that's going to be a fair amount. And with this weapon, you're definitely going to be like killing people. I mean, it's a submachine gun and it does more than, this LMG right here. So Not to say that like it's the best weapon in the game, but for what we're looking to do here, I believe that's a good enough damage. And then again, we're aiming for like crit hit, crit damage. That's what we want. And you would be able to put more of that on this build. Obviously, if you didn't have to like mitigate that bleed effect, but again, this is what we came for, right? So we have that on here with the repair skills gear mod that I put on there. I had to roll a couple just to get like, you know, something decent. 17.5% is pretty good. I also rolled, you know, whatever else I could roll. We got crit hit chance on the knee pads. I didn't have to change that. We got hazard protection. Didn't have to change that. Repair skills. For the chest piece, we're going with the mechanized infantry. For that hazard protection. So this is going to be the first piece that was due for the crit hit chance, and then this is going to give us that 10% hazard protection. I put bleed resistant on it for obvious reasons, and it came with, you know, that 8.1% hazard protection. This is going to be good because we have kinetic momentum on it. I have another build called the variant. I call it the variant, where instead of this, I'll give you like a little peek at it. I'm still like working out the kinks. I'm not really sure if I want to use it or not, but I switched it out for the sacrifice to get perfect glass cannon. Again, it's still pretty like weird, so I'm not gonna like dwell on that too much, but for now we're using kinetic momentum, and this is great because while you're in combat, and your skills are active or not on cooldown, they generate stacks. Now with these stacks, for what we're doing, we're not really going to focus on this 1% skill damage you're going to get. We're going to focus on this 2% total skill repair, right? Stacks up to 15 stacks. That's 30% skill repair, total skill repair, and it's lost when it's on cooldown. This is always going to be out. Like, let's look at the duration on this. 250 seconds. This is going to be out. So you don't have to worry about it. Again, if you check out the video of the field test that I did, you're going to see this icon, kinetic momentum, come up, as well as perfect clutch. I know in most builds, or at least like defensive ones, like if you're running a tank and you have this on there, because if you're either you have a really good medic on your team, or you're running a fixer drone, you're not really going to like see this too much. 20% of your armor is a lot to be below, but with this build, it's probable that you're going to dip down, especially if you catch yourself, and I have caught myself a few times, you know, out in the open. This isn't a build that you want to run out in the open, and if you've seen my gameplay before, you know that I usually run a tank, so I like to be up front and, you know, be basically a bullet sponge so that my teammates can work their magic. But not with this build. We're going to stay in cover a lot. That's why I'm bringing out my quiet roar, just for that suppression and a weapon damage stack. But kinetic momentum is a really good talent. I'm not gonna lie, I did sleep on it until I believe it was Shadow Gaming that brought it to my attention, or in one of his videos that he posted, where he was using kinetic momentum, and he said it was a really good skill to use that was slept on. And he was right. I usually sleep on this. I've crushed and sold many of chess pieces because they had kinetic momentum on them, but we're going to use it for this to get that skill repair. And yeah, like I said, you could switch between the booster hive. I like the booster hive because of the hazard protection, and it also gives you that weapon handling, which is really nice when you're firing off. Like the quiet roar, another reason why it's one of my favorite LMGs. It comes with like that 8.5% magazine size, 217 rounds is like, believe it or not, a lot. Like, I've watched like some of my gameplay, like just going over my videos before I post them, and realize that like I spend a lot of time bucking this bad boy, and you know, that's, you get to press a lot, either a bunch of enemies or one enemy long enough to have your teammates run up and shoot them. Is just beautiful. So especially now with Golden Bullet still going on for, I believe, is like another day or two. This is going to be a beautiful weapon to use. At least I like using it. So when I'm firing, I want to have that added weapon handling. But mainly for the hazard protection. Again, I could just go straight for the armor repair, but I feel like this does the job. Again, you just want to stay out of cover, and this is how it works. Main pieces, Backfire, Devil's Due, and you want to have kinetic momentum. I would suggest doing mechanized infantry, just so that you get that 10% hazard protection, along with that 10% crit hit chance from the Devil's Due. And then you want to do a future initiative 4 pieces. Alright. Try to get as much hazard protection, crit hit chance, repair skills, bleed resistance. That's how we're going to mitigate it. If you can get it to where like your repair skills are enough, that's awesome. If you can get it to where your bleed resistance or your hazard protection is ridiculous, that's great. That'll save you. And then crit hit chance as much as you possibly can get on your pieces, because that's where you're going to see Backfire come to life, for those 200 stacks of that crit hit damage. And yeah, that's it. So this is the Vampyre build. I may, depending on how the variant works out, I may or may not. I was talking to I believe it was Shadow about it. I may or may not post a build video for that, depending on how it works out, because it's so it doesn't. For this, I had to go for the restore because the hazard protection just wasn't working. I used like the same pieces, except I changed out for Providence Defense. We're using Composure, because for this you're definitely going to be in cover. Because glass cannon, or at least perfect glass cannon from the sacrifice, is going to just make it like ridiculous when you take damage. Your total damage taken is amplified by 60%. That's from everything. So including that bleed you're going to get from Backfire. So with this, I decided I'm just going to play it safe and just go with the double heal skills. And yeah, and hope it works out. I've been playing around with it. I've had to change this the backpack talent around a couple times, just because it was like I felt like there were better things. But with this one, I did add incoming repairs to the mix, and I'm gonna re-roll this for that, to get rid of that skill damage for skill repairs, if I can, or hazard protection, either one. But yeah, this is the variant that I've been working on. Main 2 pieces, Backfire and the sacrifice, just because I wanted to see if like it was worth having that amplified 30% damage, which again is coming from our weapons. But yeah, maybe I'll post it, maybe I won't, maybe I'll do something else. As you guys can see, I have tons of builds, a bunch of them. So we'll see. Thanks for joining and watching this one. Again, this is the Vampyre build, Backfire, Devil's Due, mechanized infantry with kinetic momentum. Or if you could find another skill you like better that works with this, please do that. And then you want future initiative 4 pieces for the total repair skill build. And with that, I will check you guys later. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And peace.